On today's show, we explore the year my life felt like a full-on American college movie, from frat parties and beer pong to tailgates, fight songs, and moments that felt straight out of a film. So, grab your popcorn, get comfy, and get ready to step outside your comfort zone, because it's time to movify your life, college movie style. Welcome to the Movify Your Life show, the plot twist you've been waiting for. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and through the Movify Your Life method, I'll show you how to step into the starring role of your story and create a life worth watching. Every Movify Monday, you'll learn how to turn everyday moments into unforgettable memories, activate your main character energy, and use cinematic tools to boldly chase your biggest dreams, like the movie star you truly are. Because when the credits roll, I want you to look back at your life like it's the greatest film ever made, full of meaning, magic, and most importantly, zero regrets. And because I truly believe everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. So, grab your popcorn, cue the music, and together, let's movify your life.
Movify your life show begins. Lift the steering, let joy rush in. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Step on stage and let's forward.
Hello, and welcome to the Movify Your Life show. I am your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and this week's episode, although it may become a two-parter depending on how long it takes, is titled, I Lived a Real-Life American College Movie for a Year. Here's What Happened. A bit clickbaity, I know, but there we go. So yeah, I went to America for a year as part of my degree, actually. It was like the third year of a 4-year course. So sort of the sandwich year, I think it's called. I did American Studies and Film Studies at the University of Sussex in Brighton, and I chose it mainly. Well, I chose the film one because I was really into film, as you can probably guess. It's called Movify Your Life. It's all about movies. But also I really wanted to go and do a year abroad in the States. And it was like the cheapest way I could ever have done it. I went to university right before they basically trebled all the fees. I went to America when the exchange rate was so good that my money basically seemed to double as soon as I got there. So like a pound was like $2 kind of thing. And things were quite cheap then anyway. I remember buying a handle of vodka, a huge, big plastic bottle of vodka for like $10, so like £5. It may be a little bit more. I can't remember. It was something like that though. Like everything was really cheap. It was great. I wanted to experience life in an American university or college. I ended up going to the University of Boulder in Colorado, CU, which was my first choice. So I'm very glad I got it. And yeah, I made friends for life over there. I had the best year of my life. I did very well academically. I was on the Dean's List, although I think a lot of the UK people were. The Dean's List is like you have to get a certain GPA. Is it called GPA? I can't even remember. Your grade average had to be above a certain point for both semesters, I believe. And if you did, you got invited to the Dean's List and you could pay and be part of that. But because I was only there for a year, I didn't. But I was very proud that I made it. Yeah, a lot of UK people actually did end up on it. I think our curriculums were very different and our grading was very different. So we weren't really being graded on the same things. So I think it got a bit confused. But also we did work hard. Let's just say it's that. So I did very well academically, but like I just had the best time ever. And I've said a few times on this podcast that it felt like I was in an American college movie. So I'm sure you can imagine the ones I mean, like a lot of the like American college movies from like the 90s and the early noughties. So when I was a teenager, basically, and everything seemed just so American. There were always like huge sporting events and tailgating parties and frat parties and beer pong and all kinds of stuff. Things at university that you wouldn't get over in the UK, but in an American university were the norm. Like parades and halftime shows and marching bands and fight songs and like all these just things that you just imagine being in an American college movie. They were all true. I kind of thought, oh, they're kind of making some of these up for the movies or something. I don't know why I would have thought that, but I did think that. And when I got there, I was like, oh no, it's all true. It's all true. And I had the best time. And I wanted to do an episode on it, but like I say, it may turn into 2. We'll see how we go, because my memory is notoriously terrible. And I did write diaries when I was there, but they're somewhere in my storage unit, deep in the depths of the storage unit. So I don't have those. But I also posted a load of pictures on Facebook. Yes, I am old. I still use Facebook, and I used it a lot when I was at uni. So this was, quite a few years ago now. And a lot of them are terrible, terrible photos from like a little camera, because no one had smartphones then. I had the hot pink Motorola Razr flip phone, which was one of my favorite phones ever. It was great, but it did not really take many photos. So these were all from like my little camera, basically. And I posted so many pictures on Facebook, and they're still there in their albums. So I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to make it a real thing. I think when you have such a great time somewhere on a trip or like an event or a time of your life, and you have these like souvenirs, these memories that you can look back on, it can be really cool to make it into a real thing. Like get a drink, get a snack, get comfy. I've got a Thatcher's Gold cider because it is Easter weekend as I am recording this, and the sun has come out briefly, I think. So I'm kind of in a like spring is in the air type thing, and I love a cider in like spring sunshine or summer sunshine. I also have a slice of banana loaf because I accidentally ordered 35 bananas this week on my Tesco shop. I meant to order 7. I ordered 7 times 5 bunches. So I decided to create some banana bread, and I know I missed this craze during the lockdown. Like everyone was making banana bread, but I'm not a baker. So this is actually the first time I've ever made banana bread. And you can bet I turned it into, like, in my mind, a sort of baking montage. First time baker's montage. I put music on. I imagined it being a montage on like a film. And I had a great time. And it actually, I think it turned out quite nice. Mary Berry recipe. So thanks, Mary. So I've got my banana loaf. I've got my Thatcher's Gold cider. And I'm going to sit and reminisce and look through these photos and have a lovely time and tell you all about the movified bits, really. So anything that felt like it was in a movie, because I think this could inspire you to go out and try new things, go to new places, and look at your own life and your own memories through a movified lens. So if you have like Facebook albums or actual, printed photo albums, you could look back through them, maybe listen to some music. I'm obviously not going to do that because I'm recording this. Get a drink, get a snack, get comfy. If you went with friends or family or partner or something, you can reminisce with them, even better. And it can just be a really great thing to do. It can be really fun to look back. It can be fun to look back through a different lens, like a movified lens. What made you feel like you were in a movie or a TV show, like an uplifting scene in a movie? And also it can give you clues. So I've talked about this a lot, looking back on your favorite memories, finding patterns in them. Like what was your favorite moments about? Like why were they your favorites? Were there patterns in there? Were there certain things you did, certain people you were with, certain songs, certain tastes, certain views that made them your favorite? And how can you put more of those into your life going forward? So as I'm going back and looking through these, I can be like, oh yeah, I had the best time doing that. It was when I went to this event or that event, and I need more of that in my life going forward because I had such a great time before. So I'm also going to have that in my mind as we go through. And we're already at 8 minutes. I've not even started looking through the albums, and I know I have a lot. So let's see how far we get. And if we get too rambly, then I'm going to turn it into 2 parts. But let's see how we go. Okay, I just paused it to have some banana bread and a sip of cider. So let's get into it. My first album. So these are the albums I created. So they're going to be pictures of a lot of other people rather than me, but I'm not going to go through all my tagged photos as well. So the first one was titled Welcome to Colorado. It was me at the airport getting on a plane with my now friends, Katie and Laura, and we meet up all the time, the Colorado ladies. I didn't know them at the time. Katie was my roommate. So I'd been given her information before. I think we'd exchanged a few emails, and Laura was from her university and no one from my university was going. So I was on my own. So we met at the airport, London, and we flew to Denver. And yeah, there's lots of pictures of my dorm room I was sharing with Katie. As I say, it's quite usual to share with a roommate in America. We went straight to Target, one of my favorite shops, and decked our room out in like posters and fun, bright rugs and duvet. Well, they didn't have duvet covers. I can't remember what they call them over there, but it was just like a single, quite thin, blankety duvet thing. And we had the best view out of our window. We had the Boulder Flat Irons. So there's a little mountain range. They look like flat irons, hence the name. And we could see them from our window. So that was amazing. We had our student orientation. We got given like a little fan, wooden fan in the shape of a buffalo, because the sports teams there at the University of Boulder, CU Boulder, are called the Buffs, the Buffaloes. And it had our fight song on there. We had a t-shirt, new student welcome t-shirt. We had the fight song, which is a big thing in America and American college movies. I did used to know it off by heart, but I don't anymore. And yeah, we went to the orientation, which was at Folsom Field, I believe, the main field for football. And we had a marching band, we had speeches, we had parades. It was just so American, and it was in the sunshine. Boulder, Colorado has over 300 days of sunshine a year, so it was just like a completely different world. It was a big inflatable buffalo. Ralphie the buffalo was the mascot. There was an actual buffalo they brought out at games, and he ran around with the handlers. I think there's been like 7 or 8 Ralphies now. When one dies, they just replace them with another buffalo called Ralphie. Like, really? And then we also had Chip, who was the mascot, like a person dressed up as Chip. So we have Chip and Ralphie. I'm not sure where Chip comes from. But yeah, basically that was the first album, and we went up Flagstaff Mountain as well, I believe it was called, and took some photos of the view. You could see the whole campus from up there. It was a really beautiful campus, beautiful buildings, nestled at the foothills of the Flatirons, basically, and it was just so gorgeous and so sunny, and I immediately felt like I was in a college movie. And all it took really was a parade, marching band, a fight song, and some sunshine. So there we go. The next album is called Things to Do in Denver and Boulder. I think I was going for, When You're Not Dead. Yeah, I was going through a Things to Do in Denver When You're Not Dead thing. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But yes, we were about an hour from Denver. You could get the bus there. It was quite simple to go back and forth, quite cheap. Like, as I say, everything was cheap. So we went there quite a bit. Oh, I got the fight song here. We got a t-shirt as well. We got loads of free t-shirts, which I kept to the wall because they were all like so American college movie. Colorado Buffaloes, shoulder to shoulder was the tagline. And the t-shirt says 2007 to 2008. So there we go. That's when it was. And the fight song was Fight, CU down the field, CU must win. Fight, fight for victory. CU knows no defeat. I can't remember the tune. We'll roll up a mighty score, never give in. Shoulder to shoulder, we will fight, 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 fight. It's a fight song. I also brought a cuddly little Ralphie. There was lots of merchandise available at the student union store. We spent a fortune there getting all the merch. Yeah, so we had a day out in Denver. There was like the Capitol building, which is very cool. Looks very much like the stuff you'd find in DC. It had a gold dome, the Capitol building. There was like a fair on, street things. There were horses and carriage rides going up and down Denver the main street every day. So that was very movified. Loads of buffalo stuff everywhere. And yeah, just walking around Denver. I much preferred Boulder because I'm more of a small town gal than a city gal. But that just felt like something out of a movie. And I'm sure lots of movies have been filmed in Denver, so that might be why. Our local shopping areas were the 29th Street Mall, an outdoor mall, and Pearl Street, which was like something out of a movie. And it was actually pictures of Pearl Street that made me want to go there and made me choose CU Boulder in the first place. I think I saw some pictures of Pearl Street at winter in the snow, the twinkly lights, and it's a lovely little pedestrian shopping street. And it just looked like something out of a movie. I remember vividly seeing that picture. I was trying to decide between lots of different places in America, all over the States. And I saw that picture and I was like, that's where I have to go. That's going to be my first choice. So have you ever visited somewhere because you've seen one picture and gone, oh my God, I need to be in that picture? That's exactly what happened to me. And there's lots of pictures of Target and Target shopping bags. We loved going there. Pearl Street Mall. We had to go to the bank. I went to the bank with my new friend, Laura, to set up our American bank account. We went to Wells Fargo, which is like the most American bank ever. They've got all ye olde, like Wild Western images on all their stuff. I still remember my debit card was like a little gold card with like a little wagon and horses on it. It was so cute. I was like, this is so American. Great. There were street performers and stuff outside Boulder. There was like the little courthouse or the town hall. No, yeah, it was the courthouse that had lots of... Pearl Street was where all the parades were, all the marching band parades, like pep rally type things before all major sporting events. And then there was lots of pictures of me and my roommate. I think we did have a lot of work when we were there. So it was a lot of homework. But obviously we wanted to have lots of experiences as well. And it looks like we had one night where we just had enough with work. And we went and drank a lot of Red Bull and took a lot of weird pictures all over campus at night. And another thing that was quite American that we had to get used to was it was a dry campus. And we'd come from England where university campuses are anything but dry. Like boozing is a huge part of, at least back in my day, I know I sound very old, a huge part of student culture. I know these days, younger people, I know I sound so old, younger people aren't drinking as much, but back then, I mean, it's pretty much all you did as a student. So we went and we were at a dry campus. Now, the drinking age in the States is 21. So the vast majority of students were too young to drink anyway. So it kind of makes sense. It was a dry campus. But weirdly enough, you could buy beer at the bowling alley. So when the Super Bowl was on, I went with my friend Laura and some of her friends to the bowling alley on campus in the student union, and we could drink beer while watching the Super Bowl. Now, that doesn't mean we didn't drink. We could go to liquor stores and buy stuff, and we weren't really allowed it in the dorm rooms, but, you know, students do. Because we all turned 21 soon after we got there, pretty much. So, well, most of my friends did. So, yeah, just an interesting thing. Lots of differences between UK and US colleges and universities, and drinking was a big one of them. Of course, they also had frat parties and things where you could drink, but that, like, really most of the time ended in the cops being called. And that was something straight out of a movie. I remember everyone dispersing and running away because the cops were coming to break up a party. And then me and my friends were like, hang on, we're 21. It's fine. We don't need to run. That was quite funny. There was this one guy called Earl, and he had basically decked out his entire garage. I think he lived at home, but his garage was his space, and he'd turned it into this like party central place with like foosball tables and beer pong things, and red Solo cups were a huge thing that year. You'll see them in every American college movie. People drinking out of those, playing beer pong and flip cup and all those party games with the red Solo cups, and it all happened. It was all true. So frat parties in garages and things like that, it was all the same. We didn't have any sororities. We weren't in a sorority. Even though we were third years, we were put in with the freshmen on campus because we were, I guess, essentially freshmen ourselves. We were like there for the first time. So we were with all the 17 and 18-year-olds who couldn't drink. So it was a bit of a mix of people, mix of students. But yeah, we were not in the same year in terms of where we were living as all the sororities. Otherwise, I would have loved to have tried the whole sorority thing. Okay, there are 2 albums called Drunk in the USA and Drunk in the USA 2. And this was at Earl's place, I remember. So let me have a look. There's a lot of, yeah, there's some dude with a guitar. There's always a dude with a guitar, isn't there? Lots of Coors Light merchandise, red Solo cups, blue Solo cups, foosball tables. Everyone's drinking beer. You pretty much only had beer or beer to choose from. I'm not a big beer person, but when in Rome, yeah, that was a lot of our weekends, I believe. There was also the area called The Hill near our campus, which was on a hill, very imaginative. And I think the idea was you just walked around until you found a house party, and then you stayed there until the cops got called. And then you ran away, and then you remembered you were 21 and you didn't need to run anyway. So there we go. Obviously, there was a lot of fast food, a lot of different restaurants we tried, a lot of American style things. There was a Taco Bell right near the campus, and we went there after a night out one time, but we weren't in a car, and the drive-through was the only thing open. So we pretended to be a car and went through, and we were like, beep, beep. And the people gave us free tacos because they found us funny. Maybe they just thought crazy English people. Who knows? But that was fun. So there was also an Einstein's Bagels not far from our lodgings, and they were so good. So good. Such good bagels. That was another difference though. The bagel place wasn't that far from where we lived, but some girls on our corridor asked if we wanted to go with them, and we said yes, and we jumped in the car and drove there, which is just what you do in America. I guess a lot of the roads and highways and things are so huge that it's just easier to get in your car and drive somewhere rather than trying to navigate all that as a pedestrian. So that was a big change that we saw as well. Our dorms were really cool. Ours was called Kit West. As I said, we were with all the freshmen, and we had the whole sharing bathrooms thing. We were sharing with a roommate, and each hall had their own dinner place, and we got a meal card thing. So we got 3 meals a day. You could go and eat at the restaurants, which was all you could eat buffet every day. And that's why a lot of people put on the freshman 15, so £15 in their first year, because you go there and it's all you can eat every single mealtime. And they have pretty much every cuisine you could imagine all in the same place. So that was interesting. There were also grab and go places you could go and grab a sandwich and things like that and just use your meal card. So that was a lot different to what we were used to in the UK as well. Now, I just want to mention the campus. The campus itself was huge and was like something out of an American college movie, which is not surprising as it was an actual American college. But you had like the big quad, the big main field, Farron Field, sort of right in the middle, and everyone gathered there on nice days to study and that kind of thing. This was also before cannabis was legalized in Colorado, and every 20th of April, 420, all the students would gather on that field and light up, even though you weren't legally allowed to. I didn't partake because I didn't see any of this actually because we were away on a trip. I can't remember where we were, but we missed it all. But it's that university in particular was well known for this. It's probably different now because it is legalized and there are medical marijuana places on every corner, and it smells like there are medical marijuana places on every corner if you go back now and walk around. That was definitely something out of an American college movie. Huge library, huge, great big buildings, auditoriums. There was like a planetarium right next to where we lived. So they would put on these like light shows, lasers shows with like rock music. It was really random, but really fun. So we did stuff like that all the time. We went to like monster trucks. I'm trying to think of things now without looking through every single photo. Monster trucks, rodeos, Christmas parades in Denver, lots of stuff in Denver. We did loads of sports events. So there was the college campus sports, and college sports are huge in America. It's not like over here. So there was basketball. We loved going to football. I didn't love so much. It went on forever, and they would have timeouts every few minutes, and everyone stood on the bleachers so you couldn't sit down because you couldn't see anything. And it was often either in the like boiling hot sun or freezing and being snowed on for like 4 hours. So that wasn't my idea of fun, although I did like the half times. We went to ice hockey. We went to Denver for a lot of stuff as well. Baseball, ice hockey, football, basketball, all good stuff. But my favourite bits about the sporting events were the sort of pep rally, marching band, parade things that would happen beforehand in Pearl Street. Everyone would turn up, and like I said, there'd be the marching band, there'd be songs, the whole team would be walking through, everyone would be having a good time, and then the tailgating. So you sort of went and had a party basically out the back of your car before the game even started. And I think that's just a huge part of American culture that we just don't have over here, and it's just like something out of a movie, so it's really, really cool.
Okay, movie star, real talk. Are you tired of feeling like a background extra in your own life? Then it's time to step into the spotlight and activate your main character era. And I've got just the thing to help you do it. Grab my free Movie Star Alter Ego Starter Kit, your behind-the-scenes pass to creating the bold, brave, action-taking version of you who goes after their dreams like the star of a blockbuster. Inside, you'll discover how to design your alter ego, choose your transformational item, pick your theme song, and build the rituals and confidence cues you need to start living your life like the epic movie it was meant to be. So, if you're ready to rewrite your script, roll camera, and finally take the lead, head to movifyyourlife.com/free to download your free starter kit now. That's movifyyourlife.com/free. Your next scene starts today. And now, let's get back to the action.
Let me get back to my albums. Oh yes, this one's called Game Day. So there's a lot of big foam fingers and cheerleading things. Pom-poms, that's the word. Lots of pictures of marching bands. Ralphie coming out, he would go for a run around the field before every football game, which was quite cool. And it was just a huge event. I'm not big into sports, but over there, everything was just such a huge event. And it was just really, really fun. There's many pictures of us at the Cheesecake Factory and Cheesecake Factory bags. That was our favourite place to go. The cheesecake's amazing, yes, but also the main food. Lots of pictures in Target, trying on lots of Halloween outfits. One of our favourite things to do was go shopping for Halloween at Target. We also went to Estes Park, which has turned into a bit of a favourite holiday destination for us. It's beautiful in the mountains, not too far from Boulder. And we've gone to the Stanley Hotel a couple of times, which is where Stephen King based The Shining on, and they filmed the miniseries there as well. And here we apparently went to some kind of Scottish-themed jousting tournament in the mountains. This reminds me, I actually had like a host couple when I got there, because before I knew I would have an English roommate, and before I'd like got contact details for Katie and Laura, I thought I'd be flying out on my own. So I signed up for the host family thing that you could sign up for. International students from anywhere could sign up. And they basically paired you with family and they picked you up from the airport. You stayed with them for the first night. My friends stayed in a hotel, and they would come to the campus every so often and have lunch with you or take you out for day trips and that kind of thing. And I got paired with a lovely couple. They had those giant Norwegian forest cats, which were amazing. And I went and stayed with them the first night. I felt really bad because they had to wait hours and hours at the airport because my friend Laura forgot her J1 visa. They needed the printout and she forgot to take it and she got carted away and interrogated for hours, which looking back, we can laugh at. But at the time, it was a bit worrying and they had to wait for me. But anyway, they took me to this jousting thing and that was very cool. So lots of game day. We went to Six Flags in Denver. So we always had people visiting from home and Laura's boyfriend at the time visited and we went to Six Flags theme park right in the center of Denver. We also did several trips while we were there, like within the States, because like I said, everything was really cheap then. And internal flights, like domestic flights, were really cheap. So it was my birthday in October and I turned 21 and we went to Arizona because Arizona, the University of Arizona, I believe, there's also Arizona State, I can't remember which one, was my second choice. And it's probably a good thing I didn't go there because I'm not good in the heat. And I've since been back to Arizona and every time I'm just like melting. But someone from my university who I didn't know had gone to Arizona and we'd been emailing. I got her details from my university at home and I asked if I could go there with my roommate for my 21st birthday. And I think I asked her for hotel information and she said, you can come and sleep on our floor. So I was like, okay. So we went there. We went out for my 21st birthday had my first official legal drink there. Went to IHOP, of course. I've got lots of pictures of IHOP and things. Went to Chili's. We went to see the Jersey Boys. We went shopping. Like I say, everything was sort of very cheap to us at the time. So we did lots of shopping. And we played beer pong with red wine, which is not recommended because the next day we had to get up very early to go on a day trip to, where did we go to? To the Grand Canyon. And we were very hungover from red wine. So not recommended. Okay, I just paused to look ahead at a few more albums because I realised if I'm talking about my 21st birthday, I'm only in October and we got there at the end of August. So I'd really only gone through a month of photo albums. So I'm going to miss a few and skip ahead. And I wanted to mention they had a weekly farmers market in Boulder, which was lovely. And that was on the streets around the tea house. And the tea house was our favourite place ever. It's very cool. It's all like Asian influenced, Indian influenced. And they had the best chai tea ever. It was like this concentrate stuff out of a bottle, but it was incredible. And if you had like more than 2 or 3 cups, you felt properly drunk. And I should mention that the whole of Boulder is very high altitude. Denver is known as the Mile High City because it's a mile above sea level. And if you were actually drinking, you would get very drunk very quickly because of the altitude. And apparently the same can be said for tea. For this chai tea, it was amazing. Me and my friends have gone back a few times since then, back to Boulder, and we would always go and buy like a huge, like 2-liter jug of this chai tea for the trip because it was just so amazing. But yeah, the altitude definitely became a thing. We would blame things on the altitude. So if we fell over after like one drink or we stumbled a little bit or we got a bit silly, we would blame it on the altitude. That became our favorite phrase, really. But yeah, the tea house, as far as I know, it's still there and it's delicious. Just amazing. So that was one of our favorite places to go, along with the Cheesecake Factory. And whenever I go back to the States, I do go back to the Cheesecake Factory. Their menu is insane. It's huge. The portions are huge and the cheesecake is delicious. I have plenty of albums around Halloween. We all dressed up. We went around different people's dorm rooms and then went out on the hill, I think. Halloween's obviously huge in America. I love that about America, about the States, and we just had the best time. We also took a trip, me and my roommate Katie took a trip to LA, a few days, very cool. We were staying in a hostel on Hollywood Boulevard. So we saw all the Hollywood Walk of Fame stuff, the Chinese theatre, Marilyn Monroe's fingerprints. We've got photos with loads of street performers who like pirates, Johnny Depp style pirates. Captain Jack Sparrow style pirates is what I meant. Lots of Elvises around as well. We went shopping. We went to Universal Studios. We saw the Hollywood sign. That whole trip was very movified. We went past a movie premiere and it was High School Musical 2. But I think it was like the DVD release of High School Musical 2. It was very weird. But either way, we were very close to Zac Efron. It was very exciting. So that whole trip to LA was like incredibly movified. Seeing all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Universal Studios, Hollywood sign, movie premiere. It was amazing. And then we came back for Thanksgiving and we'd come from sunny LA and we went back to a very snow-covered Boulder. And Boulder could get like 4 seasons in one day. But the snow, when it was snowy, it was just like a winter wonderland. It was lovely. And me and my friend Katie, we went for a trek in the snow because all the buses weren't running. either because of the snow or because it was Thanksgiving. I can't remember, probably both. And we went to a nice restaurant and had Thanksgiving dinner there. So that was lovely. And I think that week we also went and saw Fall Out Boy in Denver, which was something I remember for some reason, being around the same time. We went to Denver Zoo Lights, where they light up the entire zoo, which was lovely. It's like illuminations at the zoo, but it's a bit weird because you are at a zoo. So you're thinking like, oh, I should see some animals. You can't see anything. I was wandering around. I was like, I think there's an otter over there. Is that a polar bear? I don't know. It was quite funny. We did the Denver Christmas parade. We made snowmen because it was snowing so much. More basketball. Well, the Kooks came, so that all the English contingent went to see the Kooks at the local like rock gig place. We did a trip to Colorado Springs, which was a couple of hours away on the train. I think we went Santa there, so this is obviously around Christmas time. And I did come back for Christmas, I think for a couple of weeks. I actually flew back on Christmas Eve, I remember, and got in and was very, very tired on Christmas Day. Then we went back in January. We went out for my friend Laura's birthday. My friend Susie visited and I took her to the zoo, it looks like. Back to the zoo, but this time we could see the animals. I took her to all the favourite eateries and places. We went to Denver. We saw the Capitol building. You could do a tour of the Capitol building, which was quite cool. I was doing American studies, American history, American presidents. So it kind of tied into that nicely. We went to Monster Jam, which was monster trucks. We did disco bowling, which was the night we got quite drunk and then pretended to be a car going through the Taco Bell drive-thru. We went to the ice hockey, which was very cool. We went to a murder mystery dinner, which was Irish themed. And my friend Laura's parents were in town and her mom is Irish. And we went there and the accents were awful and she found it very funny. But that was very funny. Anyway, we also went to Real Big Fish, looks like, on St. Patrick's Day. So we were wearing lots of green things. That was fun. And then for spring break, a lot of people go to like Mexico and stuff like that and wear bikinis and get really, really drunk. I went to New York and met up with my friend Ruth and we did loads of stuff. All the tourist stuff, basically. Went to Broadway. We saw Legally Blonde, the musical, for like $10 because we were students and we got in the student lottery. We went to the Statue of Liberty. We did the free ferry ride that you can go and see the Statue of Liberty without actually having to go up to it. We did a lot of set jetting, actually, so filming locations, because when you're in New York, so many things are filmed there, you can't really not go set jetting. But we particularly looked up stuff from Sex and the City and Friends, and we went to the Magnolia Bakery, which was the cupcake shop from Sex and the City. Highly recommend. We found a pirate bar, which was amazing. I think that was in Greenwich Village, near the cupcake place. Lots of pictures from the pirate bar. We went to a late night comedy club, which was really fun. There's lots of pictures of us wearing those, I don't even know what they're made of, sort of polystyrene, foamy, plasticky Statue of Liberty crowns. And we had hip flasks that said I Heart New York. So very cool. We went to a lot of Hard Rock cafes. I used to collect the glasses. You could buy them with your drink. Went to Times Square, Empire State Building, Top of the Rock. We did pretty much every touristy thing you can think of, Central Park, and we had the best time. Okay, there's an album called April Randomness, so I've skipped ahead to April now, so we won't have to do 2 parts. But I'll wrap this up soon. The April Randomness photo album just seems to be me and Laura and her friend from home who visited, and we all went out on the hill and got very drunk and blamed the altitude. And I don't know if this was that night, but there was one time I was walking back to the dorms with our friend Laura and we'd been to this place called The Pit, which was like, I think sadly is just closed down if I've heard right. But one of those places that like, it looks like a dive bar, but like people had drawn and written all over the walls and the ceilings for like years and years and years and years, like everyone who's ever visited. So it was really cool. But we made the mistake of sitting at the bar and opening a tab. They love their tabs in the States. And because everything was so cheap when we went, we were like, yeah, we'll open a tab, we'll have a couple drinks. We were there for a while and it was one of those things where you're fine and then you stand up to go to the bathroom and then you're like, uh-oh. And then we remembered the altitude. And then we started walking home and Laura was finding it quite hard to walk in a straight line. And there was a guy walking behind us and he said, do you guys need some help? And we were like, no, obviously, stranger danger, little tipsy. We're strong, independent women. We don't need any help from a man, that kind of thing. And he was like, okay. And he walked ahead. And then Laura fell over immediately after that. And I couldn't get her up. And I had to be like, excuse me. Can you please help? And he was a very lovely male student who helped us back to the dorm. But that's what the altitude can do to you, folks. But anyway, the April randomness photo album is just us having drinks. So I go on to the next one. Then we had the international festival. So this was really cool. When we were there, they did an international student committee. And the main event they had every year was this international festival. And we were on the committee organising it. And also you could have your own booth for your own country. And there were countries from all over the world there. Really, really cool international student body. A lot of the students there were international. I think CU is known for it. And we did an England booth. Wasn't quite as cool as, some of the people were there from like Kazakhstan and like Georgia and like really interesting places with like, we all had to do a dish from our country. Well, we told the kitchen what dish we wanted them to make and they made it. And so you could go around and sample all these foods from all around the world, which was really cool. But our English booth didn't seem quite as exotic compared to them. We basically created a fake pub. We had a backdrop. We had like dodgy wallpaper. I made a little sign called the Crown Pub. We had pictures and posters up of stuff from the UK. We got some like Alice in Wonderland style croquet things that people could play with. And we asked for scones or scones for our dish, but they didn't really know what we were talking about. And they made kind of weird biscuity things, but it was still delicious. And yeah, we had a blast. Like all the people there we met from all over the world. I think this year abroad in general gave me the travel bug, but also meeting all these people from everywhere really set me up for wanting to meet more people from different backgrounds and different countries and learn about different cultures. And this was a huge part of it. And we had so many people come to that festival. I think I was on the marketing committee, so I obviously did something right. And it was just really, really fun. So after that is another trip. Like I say, it was so cheap when we were there. We were so lucky. We went to Las Vegas. Unfortunately, my friend Vicky couldn't come because she is a young whippersnapper. She was 2 years younger than us. So she was 19 and we were going there to obviously partake in some drinkies. So she didn't come. And on the way there, before we even got to the airport, actually, we were on the coach to Denver Airport. And I was looking out the side of the road and I saw these like wheelie suitcases wheel past. And I thought, sort of wasn't really paying attention. And I thought, that's weird. And then I realized they'd wheeled off our coach. The side door had opened and everyone's suitcases were making a bid for freedom. And I was like, oh my God, this is my worst nightmare. I still have a phobia now on coaches that the door is going to open and my luggage is going to fly out. A couple of people flew off down an embankment off the freeway. And even though we got the driver to stop and turn around, they were gone by the time we got back. And that included our friend Sophie's luggage. So she had no luggage. We just about got to the airport on time because that delayed us. And we got there and we had to go shopping immediately because she had no clothes, no toiletries, nothing. So that wasn't great for her, but I will always remember that trip because of that. But we also had a really great time. We were staying in a hostel and we did like the limo tour. We couldn't afford to stay on the strip, but the hostel itself did like guided tours and nights out and stuff. So we could go with them with a big group of people instead of making our own way from this dodgy end of the strip. We went up the stratosphere. We have terrible photos of us at the top, all of us looking incredibly hungover. It was the most surreal trip I've ever been on. The main night out, when we finally got back, it was like 7 a.m. Day was dawning. Birds were singing. We stumbled out of the club and we're like, where are we? Who are we? And then we had to get up a few hours later to catch our flight. So that was fun. One of the things that really felt like a movie, actually the whole of our Las Vegas trip felt like we were in a movie, but in a bit of a different kind of movie, I guess. Kind of the Hangover style movie would be more appropriate for a Las Vegas trip rather than a college movie. But we went to a Rockies game in Denver. This is baseball. We loved getting Rockies merch because it was all purple. And me and my friend Vicky, our favourite colour is purple. And the mascot is Dinger, this big purple dinosaur. So we were like, yes. We got there. We were sitting there, 4 of us, all English, all decked out in our purple merch with like purple flower garland things around our necks. And this woman came up to us and said she worked for the ballpark place and she was looking for people to take to the VIP section. And we were like, yes. So she took us to the VIP section. We had great seats, our own little booth kind of thing. They gave us free snacks, free drinks, and it was like something out of a movie. But we had to pretend to win a car. So we got put on the big screen at halftime and they told the entire stadium that we had won this car. And we were sitting in the back of the car and pretending to drive it and pretending to have a lovely time, like we were in a commercial. So that was like something out of a movie, but we hadn't actually won. So don't believe everything you see on the big screen in the game. But we did get a load of free stuff, just not a car. And we did get to meet Dinga and we got a photo with him. So that's all you need, really. But that definitely felt like something out of a movie. And no, I still don't understand the baseball rules. Sorry about that. We went to lacrosse. We went to see Kanye West. I don't know why, because I'm not a big Kanye person and I'm definitely not a Kanye person now, knowing what kind of person he is. But we went there and it was insane. It was like this whole light show. I think the concept was that he got abducted by aliens and he kept telling the aliens that he was the biggest star on the planet, which just tells you everything you need to know about his ego. But they had NERD as the support. So that was good. Pharrell. And the light show itself was amazing. Everyone was, I think it was called the Glow in the Dark tour. So everyone was wearing glow in the dark stuff, glow sticks, those silly glasses. And despite it being Kanye West, we did have a good time. That was in Denver. They also did this thing called a midnight pirate breakfast. I don't know. I just remember it being the night where most people have finals and stay up all night cramming for exams. So the idea was you got together and crammed with everyone else and they fed you. And it was pirate themed, I believe. Not sure why, but there you go. And me and my friend Vicky had a lovely time after that, roaming around campus at night with pirate stuff on. And the campus was also home to lots of prairie dogs and lots of raccoons, which was adorable. I'm a big fan of both. So the wildlife was something over there. We had to get used to. There were mountain lions and stuff, like reports of mountain lions coming down from the mountains and being in Boulder. Bears as well. So we were a little worried about that, but we never came across them ourselves. And there's lots of pictures of us posing with an American flag, which I can only assume was fueled by alcohol. Buying alcohol again was a weird thing over there. You couldn't get it in a supermarket. You had to go to a special like bottle shop, liquor store, and you had to come out and it was always in like a brown paper bag and you always felt like I don't know, a bit of a dodgy person carrying around this brown paper bag trying to hide your liquor purchases. But it was fun. And then the album is called Bye Bye Boulder. And it looks like we went to the Cheesecake Factory, of course, and had cocktails on our last day and went around the campus. We went to the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, another one of our favorite shops. Went shopping and my family came, my parents and my brother, and we went on Banjo Billy's bus tour, which I don't think is going anymore, but it was this guy who bought an old school bus and converted it into this amazing bus. It had like saddles for seats and it was all Wild West themed. And you could do a bus tour of Boulder and then they branched out and did Denver as well. And we just had a great time. And then I went traveling with my friend Joe. We got a month at the end where we could travel around before our visa ran out after we'd finished the year abroad. And I made every second of that count. I went traveling for 2 weeks with my friend Joe. Actually, I was traveling for 2 weeks with my parents and my brother, and then they left and I traveled around with Joe. We went to so many different states. Just have a quick look at the album. South Dakota, Wyoming, Yellowstone, Salt Lake City, Colorado again, Toronto, Niagara Falls, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and back to New York before leaving to come back home. So that was my year abroad. I skipped through a lot of stuff because I could see it going on and on into like 4 or 5 episodes, and I'm going to keep it to this one, even though it's a bit long. But I had the best time. It's the best year of my life. I met friends there who I still meet up regularly with. I just went to Belfast with them a couple of months ago, and the memories are always going to be there. I can reminisce and have the best time just reminiscing about it. I've been back to Boulder a few times. It gave me my love of travel, my love of co-living, like living with different people from all over the world, experiencing different cultures, learning from different cultures, traveling. It just gave me the confidence to go after what I wanted. And I very nearly didn't choose that degree at all because I thought, who am I to go on a year abroad? I can't do that. I don't have the confidence to go somewhere on my own, fly there on my own, live in a different country for a year in like dorms with roommates. Like it just seemed so impossible until I did it. And it was the best year of my life. And it's been the seed for so many offshoots of my life, I guess, and all the people in it. And I just want to encourage you, if there's something big like this, or even something small that you've been putting off because you don't think you should do it, or who are you to do it, or it's scary or whatever, go for it. You will not regret it. You will only regret it if you don't try. And I had the best time. I felt like I was in an American college movie the entire time. I still occasionally buy red Solo cups to relive my youth. I haven't played Flip Cup in a while, although I did when I was co-living and traveling, co-living with other digital nomads. Flip Cup was a big thing then. Beer pong, I haven't played in a while. Maybe I should rectify that soon, but not at altitude. I don't think I could cope with that these days. So that was my year abroad, living life like an American college movie. And I hope it's inspired you to go and do something big, something different, something huge, something that makes you feel like you are living in a movie. And it doesn't have to be for a year. It could be for a month. It could be for a week. It could be for a weekend or a day. Just go and do something and have a wonderful time. So thank you for listening. Please share this with anyone you think would enjoy it. And until next time, until next Movify Monday, I will catch you on the red carpet.
Thank you so much for listening to the Movify Your Life show. Before you go, don't forget to sign up for the main character memo mailing list at movifyyourlife.com/list for exclusive tips, treats, and behind the scenes magic. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, leave a review, or share this podcast with a friend. Let's spread that Movify message far and wide because everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. I'll see you next week for another Movify Monday. Until then, that's a wrap.